All right, hey everyone. Thanks again, Mataras and the Brooklyn Law School for having me. It's been a minute since I've been in a classroom, let alone a very nice, prestigious one like this, so thank you very much. My name is Phil Mataras, founder and CEO of Permanent Data Solutions, and for the past 4 years, we've been building open source protocols, apps, and infrastructure that all use blockchain technology. And today I wanted to talk with you a little bit about some of the problems that we've seen with the cloud, some of the ways we're trying to solve them, and how it can actually reshape the entire web. So now the internet, as we know it today, has over 5 billion people using it daily, and it is full of link rot. Now, link rot is when hyperlinks on web pages or in digital documents become broken or inaccessible over time. And it affects about 66% of all web links today, causing broken links, lost information, and lost SEO value. Now, to put this into context, in a real-world application that's really impacting our society and really impacting law, is that a Harvard study found around 50% of the links in Supreme Court cases also did not work anymore, right? And on top of that, 70% of the links in legal journals also didn't work, creating vital data loss that could have implications on the credibility of our current and future legal research, and much more. Now, our digital lives are deeply tied to the cloud, right? The cloud being corporate networks on remote servers and services that store, manage, and process all of our data. Now, most people rely on a mix of email, social networks, chat platforms, as well as traditional cloud storage apps like Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, iCloud, to back up their most important files, pictures, videos, etc. Now, few people keep a redundant local copy of that data at home. Maybe to just get a quick show of hands, how many people use something like Dropbox or iCloud? Right, most of you. Now, how many of you keep a server rack or keep all of your files also stored at home just in case something happens? Okay, a few of you. That's really good. Data sovereignty is awesome. But not many people go that distance, right? So while these services are convenient, they come with major trade-offs, right? You have lost data when your subscription ends or those links rot. There's many privacy breaches from data leaks or hacks, as well as censorship that can stifle expression, right? So the internet's current architecture centralizes all this power into the hands of a few major service providers, giving them control over not just our data, but our identities and some of the public narratives. Now, these services also lock you into subscription fees, making it really difficult to get your data out, and they often fail us. These are just some recent examples of data breaches from some of the major platforms like Google and Dropbox, and they highlight how vulnerable even the biggest centralized systems are. Now, once your data is in their hands, you're at the mercy of their rules, right? And they can change the policies at any time that could affect your uploads, your access, or even deplatforming you, severing your access as well as your connection with potentially your community. And now most recently, we face a growing challenge with deepfakes and synthetic AI content, material created by unknown sources. Now there's really no way to verify these kinds of sources' origins or authenticity. So in a world where who made this or where did it come from are critical questions, provenance and transparency has never been more important. So now, as an elder millennial myself, I've seen plenty of my own digital history go away over the years. And as an ex-enterprise architect, I've dealt with many cloud systems and all the shifting changes. Back in 2017, I was diving through Bitcoin, Ethereum, and going through that blockchain technology rabbit hole, and I discovered Arweave. Arweave is a unique storage network designed for long-term data archiving. And it completely changed the way I thought about how to store files, as well as the internet. Now, unlike traditional cloud storage, Arweave ensures files are preserved indefinitely, without reliance on any single centralized server or subscription fees. All information is time-stamped and tamper-proof, providing verifiable records and clear data provenance to whoever uploaded it. It's all open source, spread around the world, and requires no permission from anyone to use or run. Now, you might be wondering, how is this even possible? How can you store something for a really long period of time? Arweave leverages this really unique and innovative endowment model. So when you upload data, part of those fees go to the miners that are securing and replicating that data. but the rest of the funds go to a protocolized endowment that's designed to pay for your data's storage costs for potentially centuries. So this approach creates a foundation for a truly permanent web, a provenance-driven web where data is verifiable, unalterable, and always available. So as I became a subject matter on Arweave, I realized the enormous potential of this kind of groundbreaking technology. But at that time, there was really no clear barrier. There was no clear barrier of entry, right? It wasn't even easy to just upload something to it. So that's why when I decided to quit my job working at KPMG, being an enterprise architect, and founded Permanent Data Solutions with one simple mission: to really get this permanent storage into the hands of everyone, empowering not just individuals, but businesses and society to store their data forever. So on the journey toward this mission, we began with ArDrive. Think of it like a permanent Dropbox. It lets you upload, download, and share your files publicly or privately that are stored immutably and forever. Your private files are secured with end-to-end encryption, so nobody else, even the team, can access that data. Now, whether it's precious family photos, business-critical documents, cultural artifacts, or even websites, ArDrive makes permanent storage simple and accessible for anyone. I've personally been using it for all my family photos as well as my old bands. We have a Battle of the Bands video from high school that I just never want to lose. And now as we were working on ArDrive, we realized that enabling truly full stack, permanent, decentralized apps required more than just storage. It required a broader kind of infrastructure that did more things to provide a good user experience. So this realization led to the creation of RIO in early 2022. So again, while Arweave provides the foundation for permanent storage, RIO builds the infrastructure and services to create the world's first truly functional, global, and equitable permanent cloud network. Now, RIO Network enables applications like ArDrive and much more, and it introduces key innovations. It provides decentralized access through a resilient network of gateways, so it ensures your uploads and access is censorship resistant. It introduces permanent human-readable names for your data and identity, making all the interactions intuitive and easy to remember. It also supports interoperable digital identities across blockchain systems, not just around Arweave, but Ethereum, Solana, and more, giving users sovereignty, control, and flexibility with their identity. Through out-of-the-box components like caching, indexing, and querying, to integrating with entire decentralized compute platforms, RIO enables developers to build trustless, transparent, full-stack apps. And additionally, it features a protocol-driven reward system for fairly rewarding and empowering participants across the network, creating a sustainable and collaborative ecosystem. So together, RIO, along with Arweave, brings a compelling alternative to the traditional cloud. Now, there are some differences between these kinds of clouds, right? One is centralized, opaque, location-dependent. The other is more sovereign, transparent, and universally accessible. Now, there's still lots of advantages to the traditional cloud, don't get me wrong, right? It's excellent for dynamic, low latency tasks. It can handle a broad range of use cases from apps to backups, right? It's managed by large companies. They offer all kinds of SLA-backed services. It's designed for any kind of user, right? And it's already integrated with every business workflow. But there are some advantages of the permanent cloud too that really can't be denied. All the data on it is immutable. It can't ever be changed. No single entity controls the system. It's pay once, store forever storage that can last centuries. All the data is cryptographically verifiable with that clean record of provenance. And that data flows freely around the world without location-based restrictions. Users maintain full control of their identity, and it's all built on open source composable technology. And so far, it's being used for a lot of different use cases in different industries, whether it's hosting websites or apps that can remain unaltered and accessible indefinitely, to even games, whether that's your Web3 game logic or the assets themselves that can be hosted, ensuring they're censorship resistant, permanently accessible, and easily tokenized on other blockchain platforms. Now, from the beginning, Arweave has always been a place for storing files, whether that's personal information that you just can't lose, or public documents that you need to easily share, to historical records, or just digital stuff you don't want to forget. NFTs and digital assets are probably one of the bigger use cases that took off on Arweave. And artists have been leveraging permanent storage to make sure their JPEGs, music, videos, any of those token assets are stored forever so their customers don't have to worry about continuing to pay those bills. Even social apps and their related data, like the posts, pictures, etc., also really benefits from being stored on a platform where the creators cannot deplatform their users. Most recently, artificial intelligence has also been leveraging permanent storage, building innovative AI applications that harness this power for synthetic data, real data, even storing the LLMs themselves. Right? And finally, looking at probably one of the bigger data sets that has been stored so far, it's really information used for DeFi. Data feeds, other blockchain history, and other blockchain histories are frequently stored in the permanent cloud, which provides a reliable source of truth for decentralized finance applications, smart contracts, even DePIN infrastructure. And I do think some of the numbers start to back up the broader adoption that's been occurring. Just a quick example of some of the stats I pulled recently. There's a little over 200 terabytes of data stored across over 10 billion individual pieces of information. The system is ingesting around 300 to 400 pieces of data every second. And if we look at how many people are using it on a given 30 days, there's around 500,000 people reading and writing information to the permanent cloud, with almost 7 billion requests happening across those 30 days. Now, this was just taken from Arweave.net, which is the largest RIO gateway, and it just really is meant to show how the system can scale. And as you can see by this sliver of an ecosystem map, the ecosystem has been growing at a pretty rapid pace, creating solutions in almost every category. And there's really Arweave teams building across the globe, from India, Africa, Asia, United States, Europe, and beyond. Now, as RIO has become more publicly known, we're seeing a variety of other use cases across these categories. And just here are a few quick examples. First Batch is a startup that's specializing in creating synthetic data for AI, and is tackling this issue with Dria, which is a platform that turns public information into advanced AI models. And using Arweave and RIO's gateway network, they're able to retain full control over that data, feeding their AI models and ensuring those high-quality outputs. Kive has been the leading decentralized data hub, making blockchain data public and trustless. It streamlines historical data storage, validates it, and then puts it on the Arweave network for permanent accessibility, allowing these other blockchains to continue to scale. Basically, it's taking data from other systems and archiving it permanently. Redstone is another team that's specializing in providing modular Oracle solutions for decentralized finance apps, delivering real-time secure data feeds across multiple blockchains. But even Arweave's censorship resistance impact has also been remarkable. Over the years, we've seen support for significant initiatives like archiving journals for the Hong Kong Free Press, to aiding Ukrainians in documenting the ongoing crisis, even amidst data server attacks. So in my opinion, these are some of the most incredible kinds of contributions to the network. And they've even gained recognition from the US Senate, acknowledging Arweave as pioneering a pro-social application of blockchain technology. So a permanent web would be incomplete without a naming system to simplify the navigation and user experience. Now imagine the usability of the web today if you had to go to anything via some transaction hash or an IP address, or if you had to email someone by that same ID. It would be way more difficult to establish brand identity and online personality, not to mention impossible to remember these things. So for the RIO network, we introduced this name system, allowing names to be purchased or leased for up to 5 years or indefinitely purchased. These purchases go right into the RIO protocol, which pays for the servicing of those names and funds the gateways for providing that data access. Any registered name can be accessed from the hundreds of RIO gateway domains, like ArDrive.ar.io or ArDrive.arweave.net or ArDrive.any gateway domain. Now, this creates massive redundancy for anything that you're hosting on the permaweb. Name owners can even configure subdomains, we call them undernames, to allow even more flexibility. Now, this is all wrapped in a nice intuitive app that you can use to buy and manage your names, just like a common domain name registrar. Now, ArNS specifically was launched over a year ago, and since then, there have been over 2,000 apps, websites, NFTs, personal projects, and more that have been hosted and named. Most recently, simple MySpace-like homepages and link trees have sprung up. These bring me back to the earlier days of the internet when you used to see things like MySpace or GeoCities, and just really simple, easy to set up and create your own personal touch on the internet. I gave my example here, volunarios.ar.io. And this showcases, again, the simplicity of how a digital persona, a brand, and links can be permanently hosted and shared only for a few pennies, with really high assurance that it can never be changed or taken away. It's really easy to get started. So this isn't a hypothetical, theoretical system, right? You can get started today with just a few easy steps. First, you need to get a wallet, like most blockchain platforms. Your identity is really important, so having control over that and having that sovereign access is key. So you start with a wallet. You can use an app like ArDrive to upload your data. You can pay with crypto or a credit card, very easy to get in. And then you can get your domain with ArNS, just going to arns.ar.io. And it's really just that simple. As soon as you buy your domain, it's immediately accessible on any gateway and really provides that same experience of going to GoDaddy and setting up your first website. But I did want to share our roadmap to mainnet, give a quick exclusive sneak peek with you guys. This Monday, we're going to actually officially unveil this to the world. But it's highlighting some of our major milestones that are going to bring the permanent cloud to life. So you're getting a first look at the journey ahead, and really stay tuned for the big announcements. So that about wraps it up. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me talk, hearing about my story. You can scan the QR code for more information, learn more about RIO, follow us on socials, and even join the discussion in our Discord.